Aloha, I'm Bordessa from liveukulele.com, and with me I have Pepe Romero Jr. and Mr. James Hill. We're going to talk some story. We're here at the Pahala Plantation House for the Kahumoku Ohana Music and Lifestyle Workshop, number 9.
My first time here and loving it. Brought the family, got my wife and daughter in classes and taking a few myself, and the little ones running around. Having a great time met you guys, and yeah.
So far so good.
Yeah.
So far so good. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit how you got into building ukuleles when you started? You obviously come from a very prominent classical.
Yeah, I grew up with the classical guitar. Guitar was everywhere. My dad, my uncle, my grandfather, my mother, all guitar players. And so I had music and great instruments around. One of my father's guitar students was John King, the late John King, who was a phenomenal ukulele player. He played a lot of classical, played a lot of Bach and classical music, and he was a champion of the ukulele. And he would come by the house often, a couple times a year, visit and bring his ukulele. And all of us were always floored at the beauty and the power that he got out of a little instrument. So the ukulele was always in the back of my mind. I never thought I would build until I came with my wife and daughter to Oahu in 2010. And we were on vacation. We went home, and they wanted ukuleles. We were in a little uke shop, in town, and they looked at me and they're like, "Hey, when are you gonna make us ukuleles?" And I was like, "Oh, maybe now. I'll do it. Why not?" And it's a big undertaking to start a new instrument. You gotta make jigs and tool up, and so I didn't want to just make 2. I made a run at 8, and I told a few of my friends that, okay, I'm gonna make some ukuleles, and they're like, really? We want them. And those were, within like 3 or 4 days of talking about those first 8, they were gone. And I said, wow, that's pretty cool.
Good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign. And I made them, had a lot of fun with them, and realized that there was a lot for me to learn, and that there was a lot of potential within them. I was also really excited because it became a new way for me to use all my guitar, sort of the cutoffs or the pieces that weren't big enough for guitar. And I have this huge cache. I've been building for 18 years guitars and have all this incredible wood. Yeah. So,
but I've been wondering about asking a guitar builder this question because how is an ukulele not just a small guitar?
Well,
or is it?
I see it. It is, from the construction aspect, I build the same way that I build a guitar, except I don't apply the same thicknesses to the ukulele. The guitar is, I don't have a problem overbuilding guitars. The body's bigger and the curves are bigger, so the top is looser. With the ukulele, it's very easy to overbuild them to make them sound tinny.
Most, common thing that I find
is
wrong with ukuleles is the top is just too heavy. Period.
The whole thing. So I had some good advice from a few people, but one of my friends, Andy Powers, works for Bob Taylor now, and he said, make it to where you think it's too thin. When you think it's too thin, go a little thinner, and then you're probably going to be about right. And I kind of laughed about it. And okay, but I listened to him, and he was right. So I couldn't just think of it as a guitar. It's its own instrument. I had to pay attention to how the top and the back flexed within its little curves. So even though I used the same construction methods, I had to rethink thicknesses and proportions.
Does it impact on the durability of it? I mean, we were talking earlier about the phenomenon of the top lifting a little bit behind the bridge. My ukulele, my De Silva ukulele has that slight pucker behind the bridge, and you were saying
many of mine do, and it's they need to be built so lightly to really sing. You can if you build one stiff and you want it just to hold perfect, it's probably not going to ring out and sing and have that full warm punch.
I agree with that. I mean, I was just so curious to hear your thoughts on that because Mike, who builds my ukuleles, has often said that. He said, it's kind of one or the other, and do you mind having a little bulge there, but having an ukulele that just sings and has the right sound, or are you going to sacrifice that for the sake of aesthetics, basically.
I agree completely with Mike, and proofs in your ukulele that you showed me earlier today. That thing, it just sings, it rings out, and to me, the ukulele or the guitar is about making beautiful music, and if there's a little ripple in the top, it's nothing that's gonna go bad later. It might move a little bit, and there it is, and you might have an instrument that is magic. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. It's not that I am going for a little ripple here and there, but
the signature Romero ripple.
Right? No,
right?
no, but
maybe not.
It's about sound,
Yeah.
and it just happens that the ukulele, with its small body and tight curves, needs to be built really light. And if there's a little ripple in a spruce top, big deal.
Well, you brought some instruments with you. Can you show us what you've been up to? And we got James here. Maybe he can play a tune or two.
Well, I'll show you first a couple production models. I have a production ukulele company called Romero Creations. Started about 2 years ago now, and having ukuleles made over in Vietnam by my design. I have 4 models, and the idea with that was to come out with designs that people could afford. A lot of people can't afford a custom ukulele, but that doesn't mean that they can't have a really good ukulele. So within the production models, there's a lot of not so good stuff, and then there's some actually pretty good stuff, and I wanted to contribute to that and contribute designs that weren't on the market already. A friend of mine, Daniel Ho, who's a fantastic slack key guitar player, ukulele player, he lives in LA now, and we talk a lot, and he came to me he sort of posed a challenge to me, and he said that he wanted a more portable tenor ukulele. He wanted a tenor ukulele that could fit in a concert box, but he didn't want it to feel like a concert. He wanted it to feel like a tenor and sound like a tenor. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, tricky. Game on, let's do it.
Yeah.
And came up with a total new design. This is the baby version of it. This is the XS Soprano, but basically this is the same concept where we took a tenor scale neck, and the bout below the sound hole is as big as a tenor, and what I gave up was the waist of the instrument and the upper bout, shortened the headstock, and came up with basically an overall concert-sized instrument that has the neck and the sounding body of a tenor, and liked that so much that we came up with the soprano version. So that's a soprano neck and a tiny little body, but short. So the width in here, you probably have a bigger sounding area than most soprano ukuleles, and so offering something different. You're welcome to try that out. That's the XS
This is
soprano.
really interesting to me because I grew up in the Canadian school system, and we always played triangular ukuleles.
Oh,
right?
cool.
They were built by Chalmers Doan, or at least designed by him. And they were asymmetrical. This is symmetrical. The Doan ones were asymmetrical, and they had more of a flare on this bottom thing. And it came about because Chalmers needed a lot of ukuleles to supply students in his program and teachers in school programs, but they lost their contract with the Harmony factory in Chicago when it burned down. So they had to basically go into the backyard and say, how can we build a few hundred ukuleles easily? And they slapped them together with flat sides using a triangular design, and that became sort of the standard from then on for the Canadian system. But they came at it from kind of a real practical, we need ukuleles now, and we don't know how to bend wood.
Right.
We're not comfortable doing that. And you come at it from kind of like a whole different perspective, and in some ways arrived at a similar solution. Which to me is like, when I saw this first, I thought, wow, full circle.
Yeah. This is
Full triangle.
This is the one my daughter brought.
Well, here's an arrangement I learned from John King.
Oh. Nice.
That's cute. Eh?
Nice.
I love
So
that
it's
too.
one of the challenges was making a super compact instrument without sacrificing beauty of tone and sound. So I think it's something neat out on the market.
Cool. You want to try it?
Thanks for playing.
I'm kind of curious. I saw these as you came in, the XLR pickup jacks.
No, let me see. I didn't even see this.
Yeah, so
No way.
the pickup is aftermarket, and I work with a company called Shirtler. It's a Swiss company, and they're making a little condenser mic. And so there's just this little mic head that's glued right to the top, right about there.
So it's not a contact pickup. It's not a piezo pickup. It's a real condenser microphone.
Yeah, that's a little, and the head of it is about the size of the pad of my pinky.
Okay.
And the XLR is what they were making them out of. Now they're available with a 1/4-inch jack, but it's a natural sounding, nice high-end pickup.
Wow,
So is it phantom powered?
So it must be phantom powered.
It's a passive pickup.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. I don't know much
It's
about.
like an echo.
I'm not a pickup guy. I grew up without amplification. You know,
Right.
it's the classical guitar, and you go out. My family go out on stage, and there's only a mic if you're outdoors or in a bad hall.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, you sit there and you play your instrument, and that has to project.
Right.
And so I don't know much about pickups. I know that this one, you know, I've tried them out. They sound really good, and I like that company.
Yeah. I'd imagine it sounds real natural.
Yeah, it's a natural sound.
Yeah. Cool.
Very cool. Oh, what else have you got?
So I'll show you this 6-string. This is also part of the Romero Creations line, Vietnamese made, but this is the result of my father. I posed a question. I had one of my tenor ukuleles that I built. I was like, "Hey Dad, what do you think of this? You know, cool." He's like, played it. He's like, "It's neat, you know, but I want 2 more strings and a guitar neck." So I was like, "That's pretty cool, you know. That kind of goes along with this portable instrument. It's not really out there on the market." And what we came up with was sort of an oversized baritone body with a guitar neck, and it blurs the line between parlor guitar and 6-string baritone.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is Indian rosewood and Sitka spruce. It was tuned to slack key, so we're in a slack key guitar.
Don't they tune those things at the factory?
They do. That's the last time. Here's one of my custom ukuleles. I was most excited to take ukulele classes here at the workshop, and so this is an ukulele I finished about 3 weeks before I got here. It's a rosewood body, spruce top. Let you guys take a look at that. So this is what the production ukuleles. I think it's neat to bring new ideas and concepts to the market, but this is, and I like it, but this is what I love. This is my passion, is to build. I have a little workshop that was in my grandparents' house, and they're gone. My dad and uncle live there now, but it's a special place for me to build, and I build my guitars and my ukuleles there. And I feel like I'm really blessed in life to have found what I love to do.
exactly.
James, what makes an ukulele great to you? I'd love to.
Well, I mean, if you think sound, feel, durability, pick two.
Okay.
You know, I'm a sound feel guy.
Yeah.
If it lives long enough for me to pass it on to my little 2-year-old niece right now, you know, that's actually my lowest priority.
Right.
It's got to feel right, and it's got to sing. And you know, for me that means this is my kind of favorite combination, where you've got a spruce top and a hard back and sides.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that earlier, you know, wood choice. But you know, it comes down to, I think, you know, my priorities being the same priorities as the luthier I'm working with. You know, if we can agree on those basic things, that sound and feel are the most important things, then we'll be able to collaborate on a great instrument.
Right.
You know, if we're fighting over those fundamentals, it's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. And I think every builder has sort of their own innate sound, and we can do different things to modify it and bring out, you know, make it a little louder or brighter or darker, but they all have sort of our signature sound. So I think with a player working with any builder, you gotta like what they're doing.
That's right.
To build.
It really is a duet in a sense.
It is.
You know, it's a collaboration.
And it's a passionate thing, you know, for a player and a builder to get together and both in love with this sound that we want to hear, and it's a journey to try and find it. It's fun because every single one comes out a different voice. And how about you? What makes a great ukulele to you?
I'm in the same boat. I mean, I'm lucky enough to play a more better from Chuck Moore.
It's also phenomenal. You showed that to me.
Yeah, but I mean, he intentionally made it plain for me because he knew that I wasn't into the bells and whistles, and I knew that, you know, he does the beautiful work, but he also can produce a great sounding instrument that feels nice. Actually, his building style is very similar to the old Kahumoku. Where the neck profile is almost exactly the same. I measured it out, and it was kind of interesting. So it felt really natural to me.
Awesome.
Coming off of.
Is that what you grew up with, Kahumoku?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but this is a beautiful, beautiful instrument. Cool. Well, thanks for talking the story.
Yeah.
Good to meet you on this trip, and
Yeah.
thanks for lending a hand.
Looking forward to one more day of classes and running around and
Bring it on.
this crazy house.
Yeah, of course. So check out Pepe Romero Creations, and James Hill has just released a new album called The Old Side of Aloha.